Now, how did the Constituent Assembly frame the Constitution? Let us discuss here. The Constituent Assembly further be written as CA. Now, the CA or the Constituent Assembly came with a view that Jawaharlal Nehru in his meetings expressed in 1946 that we are going to represent the nation of not only the people who are present here, but at the same time we have to represent the people those who are absent here. We have to represent the mindset of the people those who are absent here. We are going to address the issues or the problems or the issues which are not solved by any of the government till that time further. We are going to frame a constitution which is going to be satisfied for all categories of people, all sections of people, all castes of people, all the other things, and till now what are the problems that we have faced should not be faced by any other Indian in the future. Jawaharlal Nehru was strictly in his view that those who are present here are not only representing the entire India, but at the same time we are here to make a constitution for entire India and for the future generations. It is the responsibility on our shoulders that we are going to give the nation a bright and a wonderful constitution which is going to satisfy the needs of all the people, at the same time provides the ideology of the Indians or the Indian culture, Indian tradition, or the problems what Indians have faced from the British domain. So we have to move from all these things. So they are in a clear view that who are present here are not only the representatives, who are present here only their views will not be considered here, who are not present here, whose representation was not at all present here, their views also will be considered very clearly, their issues also will be discussed very clearly. This is the statement made by Jawaharlal Nehru at that point of time when the assembly meetings were going on. From this point we can get a clarity that Jawaharlal Nehru is one of the key leaders or one of the prominent important leaders in the Constituent Assembly along with Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So from that we get a clarity that the members of the Constituent Assembly had consciousness and insight that they are not only the true representatives of the nation, but along with them we have a vast nation. At that time the population of India was 400 million. So they are going to represent the entire 400 million people, and each and every person should be entitled or given some rights according to the framework of the constitution. That is the reason why we got the detailed perfect constitution for our nation. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar acted as the chairman of the drafting committee. He was one of the key members who studied the various other constitutions and came to the conclusion like which constitution is going to fit for the Indian curriculum or the Indian context. He studied detailedly all the other constitutions like the Britain Constitution, the American Bill of Rights, the Irish Constitution, the Sweden Constitution, the Canadian Constitution, the Austrian Constitution, the Irish Constitution, the Ireland Constitution, and after studying the various constitutions, from America we got the Bill of Rights, from the Canadian Constitution we took the federation purpose or the setup or the concurrent powers or the distribution of the powers. Then from the American setup we did not take the citizenship. Like that we have adopted each feature which is very good in their context of the nation and which is very perfectly run in that particular nation where the people are satisfied with that kind of setup. And we also took up from the French constitution that liberty, equality and fraternity. So after taking all the key points which are necessary for the people in the nation, along with that we also took some of the key words or the key laws from the 1935 Government of India Act. After studying entire thing in detail, our leader Mr. B.R. Ambedkar, the chairman of the drafting committee, presented his views in the Constituent Assembly. It was thoroughly discussed in the Constituent Assembly. It was kept open for 8 months, and for all the members in India, not only for the Constituent Assembly members, it is for all the members of Indian nation or the citizens of Indian nation can put forth their views and write letters or send their messages and discuss them with the Constituent Assembly. And everything was discussed for 8 months. Every views were kept. Nearly 7,000 amendments were suggested. In that 2,500 amendments were changed, and finally the Constituent Assembly drafted a framework of Indian Constitution, and the great task was done in 2 years, 11 months, 18 days, and they could reach the final destination. And the final approval of the Constituent Assembly towards the Constitution was done on 26th November 1949, and the day itself for the declaration of the adoption of the Constitution was made on 26th Jan 1950. So this is the entire process how the Indian Constitution was adopted and came into the framework. What are the basic ideals that are thought or the powers which are given for the Indians? What is the idea of Ambedkar in giving a framework of parliamentary setup to India? We'll discuss about that.